morning. This video is gonna be more of a update more than anything. But what day? It's Tuesday. I'm like, my days are messed up. I hardly slept last night. This whole Corona thing, man, it's really just messing a lot of stuff up. It's really slow at work. I'm not making any money. Oh, which kind of brings me to a point I kind of wanted to bring up. I had a comment last night. I think his screen name is Drewster956. He's been a long time viewer, long time subscriber, and he was recommending that I replace one of my rods that got hot. It turned blue, and yeah, he was just saying just buy a new rod. That I could get one for like $100 or some shit like that. But the truth is, man, I am I'm pretty broke right now. I mean, to put it bluntly, it's costing me money to come to work. I'm a commission. I'm a technician, so of course I'm on commission, and there's just hardly anything to do right now. Yeah, it's so dead. I still got to pay daycare for my 2 kids. I'm still paying for my house. Thank God, I had a decent income tax. I'm literally just getting by spending savings. All right, and this stimulus check, or the Corona stimulus check coming through, like, some people are looking forward to that to spend on car parts or this and that. I literally need that to pay for the house, pay for bills, and just, yeah, it's really tough times. But anyways, yeah, basically, well, that's why I can't spend $100 on a rod right now, man. I got to spend that shit like on groceries and the fucking light bill. But yeah, I've got like $30 invested into this rebuild. All I did is buy a set of bearings. But on that rod that turned blue, what I did is super ghetto. Don't try this. I'm not recommending it. It's just like, I'm trying to see how much I can get away with, which I don't know, maybe I can't get away with what I did. But I resized the rod. All right, because when it turned blue, it ended up being tight on the crank journal. I guess the metal expanded. It kind of took a different shape after it got hot as fuck. But yeah, I just marked it with Sharpie with some ink, and I just went over it over and over with the rotary tool and felt until the clearance was good on the crank. And I even would put an old set of bearings on there, and I would ink up the bearings, and I would rotate it to see like the high and low spots of the bearings after I torqued it down. So I wasn't like blindly just reshaping the rod. I was trying to do it. I think I said it in one of my last videos. If you're gonna half-ass something, at least half-ass it all the way. Don't half-ass it even more, because then it's just a quarter-ass, right? So if you're gonna half-ass it, at least like put some effort into it. That's what I try to do. It's a fucked up ghetto half-ass job, but I try to do it to the best of my ability. If that, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so that's that. That's why I'm not buying new rods or a single rod or this and that. So I've got a little bit of bad news. Well, for starters, I got the block in the car, so the next step is to get the head cleaned up and installed. And so I brought the white head up here to work. I was gonna take it apart, clean it up, make sure there's no shit up in the oil patches and stuff like that. And I totally forgot that the piston made contact with the valves on that one cylinder that threw a rod. So there's a couple ways to check for leaks past the valves. Ways to see if your valves are leaking. A better way to say that. First thing I did is I backed out the valve lash adjusters all the way so the rocker arms would push on the valves to make sure the valves were all the way seated, as far seated as they can be. And then the easiest thing to do is probably, the first thing I did was fill up the chambers, the intake runners, with water. I filled up all the runners with water. It's kind of like a leak down test on those, and you kind of just let it sit. And when I did this, 3 of the runners were fine. They held water. I couldn't actually visibly see them leak down. But then, of course, the runner on the cylinder that fucked up, it just leaks its ass off. The water just pours out. And then after that, what I did is I just grabbed, you can just grab a flashlight and shine it behind the valves, and you shouldn't see any light coming through the valve seats. That's a pretty easy indication that your valves are leaking. So yeah, that's you can do a water leak check and a light flashlight check. So yeah, this head's fucked. The valves are bent. That's pretty much what's going on here. But probably over a year ago, I picked up a D16 Z6 head out of the junkyard, which it's supposed to be better flowing than the Y8 head. It might have a little bit lower compression, but it's supposed to flow more CFM. And actually, I saw Bad Guys. They're like one of the best D series builders, and I don't know, just they're fucking a badass company. They posted a chart comparing all the stock D series heads, and they actually show the Z6 head to outflow the white head pretty good. So I'll post a chart that's pretty helpful, just some you know, D series education. So what I need to do is swap over all the D16 Y8 the cam and the cam gear. I need to put that shit into the Z6 head, because the Z6 cam and cam gear, it's like clocked a little differently. Something about the cam is ground at a different timing angle, something like that, man. I'm not entirely sure. I just know that it creates a lot of issues when you try to put the Z6 stuff on the Y8 block, because basically the Z6 came on a OBD1 D series. All the Y7 and Y8 stuff is OBD2, and shit just got a little different between the two. So yeah, I need to go home, grab the Z6, bring it in, and do the same thing. I'll check it for leaks. If it doesn't seem to leak and it holds water, can't see any light coming through the valves, then I'm gonna clean it up, swap over the cam and cam gear, and yeah, I think that's it for now. I ain't getting that Corona. Alright, I got the Z6 head in the parts cleaner bin, and of course this one's leaking. It's got a little bit of a leak down on this valve. It's leaking down right now. This valve seems to be okay. This is holding liquid, but this one leaks down. But this head, since I got it from a junkyard and it's been sitting forever, I'm pretty sure it's more of like a rust or carbon issue. So I'm gonna go ahead and relap the valves. What I'm going to do is remove the valve springs, probably just put the valve stem in a drill and just spin the valves and see if I can get them to reseat. Alright, so one of my coworkers had this special valve spring tool. It's magnetized in here. All you have to do is collapse the valve spring, and the magnet will pick up the valve keepers and remove the keepers and the retainer in one piece. So he said all I got to do is push down. Nope, just like that. That's pretty easy. And then there's also an installer tool. It's basically the opposite. You just put the valve keepers and the retainer, you install it on here, and then you press down and this will automatically install it. So alright, and at the same time I'm gonna pull up to put pressure against the seat. You hear that? That's the valve bottoming out. So here I go. That wasn't very long, but I'm gonna see if just doing that little bit helped at all. So this left side here is the side that was leaking. The right valve was actually okay. It was this left one. So I'm just going to hold it close with my finger and fill that one up with water and see if it holds. And it's actually holding with just that little bit of valve lapping. I think all I really had to do was like knock off some surface rust and some like crud it had on there. Yeah, it's not leaking at all. So I'm gonna hit all the valves just a little bit, just like that, just to knock off the crud, and this head should be good. There we go, that's how it's meant to be used. Alright guys, so I had to pull a little bit of a, like an audible. That's the Z6 head on the floor, and I didn't realize just how shitty the surface was. I tried to clean it up, but like this corrosion is just, it ate into the aluminum. I mean, it feels flat, but just the way it looks, wasn't real comfortable running that. The Y8 head is a lot cleaner, and what I did is I swapped over the valves to the Y8 head. I put the Z6 valves in the Y8. Here are the valves that I pulled out of the Y8. The exhaust is good, it's the intakes that are bent. Yeah. I was like, what? They look fine. Yeah, like right there, they're apart. And right here, they're together. Both of them do that. They both wobble. So both the intake valves bent, but I went ahead and changed out the exhaust and intake. And right now I'm just working on polishing up the combustion chambers. And I'm just gonna clean it up real good and just use the Y8 head. I did do my little ghetto leak test. Where's my water? And it does hold water. So yeah, sweet. But yeah, I think that's just about a wrap for this video. Didn't realize it was time to go home. Anyways, like I was saying, that's gonna be it for this video. If you like it, as always, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below, comment anything. It helps just, you know, get any interaction with the video helps. So just do whatever, and I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, see you in the next video. Later.